The game's on the line, the season's on the line, legacies are on the line, and these all-time great players made incredible shots that never get talked about. In today's video, we're going to talk about 4 different playoff game winners that have largely been forgotten, as well as a big announcement that I'll be sharing. Stay tuned for that. Let's start with the 1995 semifinal series between the Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns. When we think of clutch moments, surely the shot by Mario Elie is the first one that comes to mind, and with good reason. It's one of the few game winners that occurred in a Game 7. But there was another widely underrated clutch moment that was made by one of the greatest players of all time. Hakeem Olajuwon made the biggest clutch shot of his legendary career in Game 5. The Houston Rockets were down 3-1 in the series and were looking to find some kind of momentum to start their comeback. In the fourth quarter, the Rockets are down by 1 point and Charles Barkley is headed to the free throw line. Keep in mind, he hadn't scored at all during the second half and he missed the previous 4 free throw attempts. And he goes 1 for 1. That set up this huge shot by Hakeem that forced overtime and saved the Rockets season. They ended up winning the game and they eventually were one of the few teams to successfully come back from a 3-1 series deficit. Mario Elie is a huge reason why, but that shot would have never been possible if it wasn't for Hakeem Olajuwon. The next one that we're going to talk about came in 1997, where there was an exciting game winner to end this series between the Chicago Bulls and the Washington Bullets. If we're talking about the Bulls, you would think that Michael Jordan has to be involved, and he absolutely was, but not in the way you're probably thinking. Now for this exciting back and forth matchup, Jordan was on one in the fourth quarter. He scored 14 points on 7 of 10 shooting. He was doing everything he can to keep up with his Bullets team, led by Chris Webber. But in the final play with the Bulls down by 1 point, Calbert Cheaney stripped Jordan's shot, but it was recovered by Scottie Pippen. He then attacked the rack and made this incredible and-one dunk that took the lead and the game. Talk about sacrificing your body for the team. Pippen was also very impressive in the fourth quarter as he scored 10 points on 4 of 4 shooting. That shot allowed the Bulls to sweep Washington and advance to the next round. It was an underrated moment by one of the all-time greats. We got 2 more to go, but now it's time to make the huge announcement that if you're a true NBA fan, you should be very excited about. By the time the NBA playoffs start, I'm going to release the all-time greatest NBA book, Regular Season Edition. We're going to be counting down the top 350 greatest regular seasons by a player in history, which will be including updated rankings from the original version. It's everything that you loved about my first book, but now you'll have everything that you need to know about what all the legendary great players accomplished during the regular season. This will be the greatest NBA history book that you'll ever come across. Make sure you subscribe to my Basketball Universe channel to stay updated on upcoming release dates. Back to the countdown. We're going back to the 2003 Conference Final Series between the New Jersey Nets and the Detroit Pistons. Usually, Jason Kidd would be looking to assist on the game winner, but this time, he was going to take one himself. The clock was at 22 seconds, and he held on to the ball until it was time to make his move. He went to the baseline and made this pretty fadeaway jumper to win the game. The final score was in the 70s, so this was an ugly defensive battle, but it did end with a huge clutch moment by one of the greatest point guards ever. He was on track of leading the Nets to their second finals appearance, and he had some awesome moments during that 2-year stretch, which includes his underrated shot. And finally, let's go to the deciding Game 5 of the 1990 first round series between the Phoenix Suns and the Utah Jazz. This was another exciting back and forth battle. The Suns were up by 2 points with half a minute to go, and the Jazz went with what they do best to save their season. It was a pick and roll between John Stockton and Karl Malone. Stockton made a great pass to Malone and he knocked down a huge jumper to tie the game. Then on the other end, Kevin Johnson made a tough follow-away jumper with 0.8 seconds left to take the lead and advance to the next round. I argued in a previous video that I believe Kevin Johnson should be a Hall of Fame player, and this clutch moment should also be included in his impressive resume. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for watching the video. Till next time.